Okay, so what we've got up here is we put in a just under 10 kilowatt PV system, photovoltaic, which is generating electricity, and it's working very well for us. And we put it up about 6 or 7 months ago. I did it because I wanted to see how effective it was, because as you may know, we're supplying these panels, and I wanted to see if it worked, and also because I was very motivated to see if we could produce more and more renewable power ourselves, and how that might work. So we put this up as a sort of experiment, a 10 kilowatt experiment, and it is very successful. So we're hoping to increase the size of that system from what you can see now, so it covers all of that barn, in which that'll be about 40 kilowatts then. So we'll hopefully be doing that in the next few months. But why did I do it? I did it because fundamentally because I want to do something useful in terms of climate change, and trying to feel like I'm making some contribution towards our better future, hopefully. Well, the economics of it are very good actually. There's that represents about £37,000 investment. You could spend more or you could spend less, but we put a system in of equipment that we felt comfortable with, so that's about £37,000. And in terms of its return, we were expecting about, in terms of financials, about a 10% return on our investment, which is very good, but actually it's doing better than that so far. We think it'd be more like 12 to 14% return. And the great thing about it is, since the introduction of the feed-in tariff, that feed-in payment we're getting is for 25 years, and it's government backed and index linked, so it looks like it should be a very good financial return based on the level of investment.
So it's good for the planet, and it's good for you too?
Yeah, it's very, very good. In fact, it's brilliant. It's makes you feel good, and it's a no-brainer financially. So what we've got here, right, is this is the whole system that turns the electricity from those panels into electricity that we can use. So from the panels, these 3 wires are coming down into the building. It's feeding DC current into what's called an inverter. This is an inverter, a Fronius inverter, which are meant to be a good make, coming from Mitsubishi panels. Now that's turning, as I say, DC current into AC current, which is what we use in our grid. Right now, for example, this system's producing 4.5 kilowatts of power out of a 10 kilowatt system, and today it's done 15 kilowatts so far today. Once this electricity is turned into AC, it then goes through this generation meter, which in terms of the feed-in tariff is very important, and this is telling us that so far this system's done 7,159 kilowatts. Bearing in mind that's in 7 months, and annually it's only meant to do 8,000 altogether, so actually we think it's going to well overperform on what we were expecting. The current then goes into this little box here, which is called a G59 relay, and that decides whether actually the electricity is up to speed, as it were, in the appropriate way. That then distributes the electricity into our internal system on the farm, and providing we're using that power, that's where the electricity will get used. If we don't use it, it gets exported into the national grid. So we get a double benefit in terms of the fact we get paid a feed-in tariff from the electricity generator, regardless of what happens to the power. If we use the electric on site, we save having to buy the electricity. If we don't use the electric on site, we get paid to export it. So our net benefit here is, for every unit we're generating, it's worth about 45p to us at the moment. And that's basically how this system works. It's a 3-phase system, so there's 3 inverters. In a domestic environment, you just have 1 inverter. So as you know, over the years we've been involved with agriculture and building work, and in the last few years, as a result of taking an interest in renewable energy and being quite motivated towards doing something involving the climate change, what we did was we actually changed our business around and started selling these things. And we had the option, of course, that we could sell anything. We could sell windmills or pumps or PV panels, etc. But we've been so impressed by solar energy, and particularly by PV at the moment, that's what we're focusing on. And as a business, we're able to design these systems, organise the equipment and install them for customers, which we're doing quite a bit of.